Welcome to our final video in this series on diversification and how diversification strategies can help with profitable growth. In our prior videos, we talked about the framework that contractors use that can be helpful, whether it's thinking about aligning your competitive strengths and values to make good decisions, adapting to customer needs, and also advancing at a pace that doesn't really outstrip the rest of the organization. And Stahler talked about those three areas that are really important in terms of evaluation, whether it's markets, operations, and people.
That's right, Jay, but today we're going to do something a little different. Today we're going to talk about the most common questions that we get when contractors are implementing diversification strategies, and we'll share some insights to help you avoid pitfalls and maximize success.
What are the most common mistakes contractors make when diversifying?
Well, for me, it's underestimation. One of the biggest mistakes we see contractors make is underestimating the risk and investment required to be successful. Diversification efforts can be unsuccessful if you don't have the right people, processes, and systems in place.
Yeah, I would agree that underestimation is a huge part of it. I would also add probably overgeneralizing, meaning that we think just because one market operates a certain way, that market will operate the same in this other place, or this service is too similar to this service. So overgeneralizing, I think, is another major area that most people trip up.
Can you share an example of a contractor who succeeded in diversifying?
Well, one contractor that Stahler and I work with have done a lot of their diversification through geographic expansion. But they sort of approach it first by always following a client. Kind of what Stahler talked about with underestimating the cost or the risk associated with it. Following that client sort of underwrites the risk for at least the first 2, maybe even 3 years.
And the other part of underwriting that risk is having the right people go there. This is the time to send your A players to follow that client to the new market. They're the ones who are going to implement your culture and your systems. It's not a time for someone to prove themselves. You have to have proven people doing the work.
How can contractors ensure diversification leads to profitable growth?
Well, it really starts with the basics: market, operations, and people. Your market strategy has to clearly define where you're going to play and how you're going to win. Your operations have to be scalable, and your people strategy has to align your leadership and your skills with your goals.
Yeah, and I think kind of playing off of that as well is really the process of what I would call inversion. And it's really something that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett used with Berkshire Hathaway, which was kind of starting with, what were the things that they knew were going to be bad, things that didn't fit from a market, operations, and people perspective. And let's just take those off the table so we're left with only sort of good choices to choose from. As we've shared, diversification strategies, when done right, do contribute to profitable growth, but it does take that balance or focus on clarity, preparation, and execution.
And thanks for watching this series. If you have any questions or need help with your growth strategy, please reach out to us. We're here to help you make bold moves with confidence.